Hello, my name's Stan Nelson, and I was going to do a review of the GMC 16x40 heavy-duty lathe. And I bought this lathe through Sierra Victor, and it was very good to work with. Some of the things that I was concerned when I was looking for a lathe is the distance through the headstock, so you could chuck a barrel on both sides of the headstock. And this one here has a distance to the spindle nose is 20 1/2 inches through the headstock. The spindle diameter is 2 1/16 of an inch. So a lot of times with my spider that I made for the back end, I've put the actual action and checked on the action in the spider to do muzzle brakes. So it's worked very well to have the bigger diameter, and I really haven't had to do anything to be able to do shorter barrels so far. I put on muzzle brakes on Savages on 20-inch barrels and actually checked on the receiver in the back and the spider on the front. I made my own spider that I made out of the faceplate that came with the lathe. And what I did is I machined the faceplate down and put on a piece of aluminum on the very front, bolted it down in 4 places, and then drilled and tapped for the set screws with brass tipped set screws so I can pick on the end of a barrel and be able to stay fairly close to the length. A 26-inch barrel does really good, 24 does all right, and 20, I really haven't done any 22-inch barrels. And I'm not sure if I could get it with my spider in the back. The spider that I built for the back end, I went clear to the end of my cover, which if I built this other spider that I haven't used, I can get about another 1/2 inch closer for doing a little bit shorter barrel. But so far, this spider has worked just fine. And I made a special long T-handle that I can adjust this spider without the cover being in effect. So it's worked very good for me. This lathe comes with a foot brake. It has a 6 horsepower motor. The one thing that isn't so good about it is the 2-speed motor. I had a hard time when I bought my rotary phase converter being able to get the higher speeds on the motor to start with my rotary phase converter. Now, if I would have known that this was a 2-speed motor when I ordered my phase converter, North American Phase Converter Company could have built it a lot better for me, but I found out about the 2-speed motor after the fact, and they were really good to help me, and they give me some capacitors to help see if I could get it started in a high speed. But I wasn't able to do it, and they says for another $400 they could probably get it to start. But it would have been easier if I could have told them up front that it had the 2-speed motor. And right now I got speeds from 45 to 70, 108, 165, 585, 255, 385, and 900. And so far, I haven't had any problems with those speeds. And it just hasn't been worth it for me to spend the extra $400 to get the high-speed motor to start. The North American Phase Converter Company, their rotary phase converter was almost half the price of what Grizzly wanted. and their tech support has been really, really good. They've been really good to work with me and help me in getting it wired and working. One of the other things that's an advantage with this lathe is that it came with a free taper attachment. I got the digital readout, and this is the first lathe I've ever really worked on that had the digital readout, and now I'm spoiled. I really, really, really like it. But this digital readout at 0 is really easy, and you can move it, and you can re-zero it with just a push of a button. It's really simple to use. Doing muzzle brakes that have to be timed, if you're out 5 degrees, well, 10 degrees equals 1,000. So if you're out 5 degrees, you need to go 5 10,000ths, and that's been really helpful to have the digital readout to take small cuts on the lathe when you're timing a muzzle brake. Like I say, to start the lathe, I just start the rotary phase converter, and it starts really good. It'll do all your standard threads and metric. I'm getting old, so I don't like to stoop down to read them, so I made little cards that have where to set for your threads, so I don't have to, and then I just hang them back up on my shelf. The lathe has been really good. It will make some really heavy cuts. It's like I say, I usually put this on for doing gun barrels. This spud on the front and the back. I also have this that I made. It's a gunsmithing tool that you can do shorter barrels in by adjusting the set screws that are tipped with brass. And it gives you a lot of options that you can do. I've also made I made a jig so I could do bolt handles, and I've turned them on my machine and done bolt handles. I've done a lot of threading on it. It seems to really work well. I've had it now for over 2 years. And like I say, when I was looking to buy a lathe, I couldn't find anybody that would tell me the distance through the spindle. Hardly even Grizzly. I had a hard time finding out the distance from Grizzly. When I did find out that it wasn't any shorter through the distance than this lathe, it was that was what really turned me to this one. Is it was the same distance through the spindle, a lot heavier duty. This one weighs 40. You can look up the specs on the GMC website, but it's in the 4,000 pound range, and the Grizzly Professional lathe is in the 30. It says shipping weight's around 3,300 pounds. So this is a lot heavier duty. I've really enjoyed it. I'm new at this, so thanks for your patience, and thank you.